the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. The 2010s, arguably one of the best decades to be alive. Arguably the best decade to be alive. 2010s, things were happening. People were smoking. People will open up their hearts and their minds, being compassionate, being kind. Oh man, we were loving it. Every day was like, yes, I'm glad to be alive. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's drink a little bit. Let's eat some food. Let's smoke some reefer. Let's talk smack. Let's have some laughs. Let's cry tears of joy. Let's watch this movie, let's watch that movie, they had Titanic in 3D in theater. Ooh, are you kidding me? Damn, I wish I hadn't.
Turn the light off.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah, leave it on. Turn it. Do it again. No, yeah, there you go. Leave it on.
Okay. That's what. Okay. Okay, that's what he's saying. Turn the light off. Today is an extra cold day. Well, hopefully his phone will be fine out there. Just listening. KFM 2222 Hotspot Jock tonight. People say that John Cena's theme music comes from some theme music back in Chicago. There was this B96 radio station, and they had this guy, the Donnie Devo, the freaking Puerto Rican. I swear that was the theme music for him. And then I saw John Cena coming out. I'm like, what? Yeah, it could be. Probably that's what it is. Probably sampled music from, those rap guys. They always
Ric Flair did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he used what was it?
Rap guys. They always Oh yeah. That's from Space Oddity.
What was it, Space Odyssey?
Space Odyssey. Yeah.
I think it was from something else.
Bum 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 bum. Oh, or actually, it might be like a classical tune.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I wish I knew the composer. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like the sound of this. I feel like it's very therapeutic. Talking and listening to yourself like this, it's a whole lot different than talking in person.
And no one listening.
Yeah, no one listening. Or even when you're talking to someone, this is like totally, you like with this, it's like you really are listening to yourself.
Oh yeah, at least one person.
And and the other person at the same time. And it's like, I don't know, I like how it feels on my ears too.
Yeah, some people find it like ASMR.
Yeah, in a way it is ASMR. Yeah, these mics are pretty nice. I like them.
Yeah, I bought these at Radio Shack.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Or not Radio Shack.
Yeah, I was gonna say back in the day.
Yeah,
these are pretty good for radio.
Pretty old.
Yeah, radios. I remember I bought my first MP3 player at Radio Shack. Oh, that was awesome.
Back in the day, dude.
Yeah, we were like, "What's an MP3 player?" And he was like, "Well, you can connect it to computer. You have some. I think it was 128 megabytes I had for my first one, and or maybe I got the 64 megabyte, and that's the first space I got.
The little small one.
Yeah, it was the smallest one. They were like, you could fit this many songs on there. I'm like, well, that's more than you could fit on the CD. And I was like, that's more than enough, because on the CD you could only fit so many songs. Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, man, this is like a few CDs on there. And then I was like, I had so much music downloaded, and so I got the next biggest one. I got the 128 milligrams or megabytes.
Milligrams.
Yeah.
What were you buying again?
Yeah, megabytes. And I was like, yes, more space. That's awesome. And then, yeah, man, it was a lot of music. It was so much. Yeah, it was a lot of fun compared to listening to CDs with a bunch of songs on there.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, to me it was sort of like a game changer.
Yeah, really.
You're like, what? You can do what?
Yes. It's like, thank God I could have my music in here. I could look through it digitally. I could play it. That was, oh man, it was awesome. And then when I heard of these the iPods, and then I heard of,
dude, those were crazy too.
Yeah, and they first had the 1 gigabyte iPod. I'm like, 1 gigabyte? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now it's basically a terabyte. That's like $1 trillion.
Yeah. Gee, I'm like, geez, man, that many songs on an iPod? That's crazy.
Who's gonna listen to that?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I could fit like 5,000 songs on my iPod. I'm like, geez, man.
Yeah, now I have 256 gigs.
Oh,
something like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
man, that's
pretty crazy.
It's been a long time since I had an iPod. I wanna say the last one I had was like a few gigabytes. But yeah, I had like 8,000 songs on my computer one time, and yeah, I had that on my iPod. Yeah, I mean, that was awesome, like going through that, especially if it could connect to your car.
And eventually when you could save stuff on internet hard drives, basically. Or internet.
Oh yeah,
drives.
The internet drives. Places online where you could save all your stuff. But man, yeah, thankfully now, like, I use YouTube Music.
Oh yeah, I don't even use YouTube Music. I just go to YouTube. I have YouTube. I have
Oh
YouTube
right,
Premium.
yeah. You can straight up pick a song on YouTube and it will make a playlist for you.
Yeah.
Especially, if you have your algorithm going and YouTube knows what you like.
Yeah. And I almost wonder, I wonder how that affects things sometimes. Like, I should have wore like a brighter shirt, as I was thinking, because the lighting, I think, is gonna piss me off. But I don't want to have the lights on the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So I just usually have to.
I always
gotta
wonder
let
about
it go.
that. Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
I
then,
guess.
I might just pop out in a second and check it and just see how it looks. Do you have gum in your mouth?
Yeah. You want some?
No.
Or-
you mind spitting it out? Just while we do this.
Yeah.
Because it's not me. I don't care, but people listening.
Yeah.
Like I hate it because I'll like.
Yeah. It's
I'll usually like. It's sort of this.
Yeah.
Thing that I do.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, dang, like I just put this gum in my mouth.
Yeah.
And then I have to spit it out.
Yeah.
But there was one time I was doing a podcast and I didn't take the gum out, and I went back and listened, and me and Ben, we had a good podcast too. It was like 2 hours, and I was listening to it the whole time. I just could hear myself chewing it.
Ooh.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice it until later on when you go listen.
Yeah. You're so used to doing it in person.
Yeah, what I mean,
And
it's one of the things too, though. Well, I take the chance that it may come out That way. Are you still chewing it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I put
thing?
put a piece of chocolate in my mouth.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I put the gum in the chocolate wrapper, and then while I had the chocolate wrapper open, I'm like, I'll have a piece of chocolate. Yeah. But
oh, that's gonna be a clip.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you still chewing that gum? Oh, put a piece of chocolate in Oh shit!
Yeah, I had the chocolate wrapper open where I was gonna put the gum, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
A bit of a dilemma here.
Yeah, the chocolate doesn't last long, so
it's fucking funny. Damn.
Yeah, I just I did it today before I went up at the mic. I just had a piece of chocolate. I'm like, this is good to right before I go on stage. That's awesome.
No, I don't even really like eating. Like, I have to eat like hours before or something.
Oh.
So that my body is done processing the food.
Yeah.
Because your brain will be doing I think Chris Rock was going to say, your brain will do two things at once.
Oh.
Like, it'll be processing the food.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to also think and do your jokes at the same time.
Okay.
So it's like,
I get you. But yeah, for me, I feel like somewhat of an energy boost after I eat, and yeah. So that's the way I see it.
I try to eat like a light, like I'll eat like an hour or 2 hours before. And not even really. I could eat like an hour and a half or something like that. Usually, that gives me time to eat, let it settle for a little bit, and then get ready. And then by the time I go on stage, it's like I ate like a chicken salad or something. So it sort of goes processed through. Yeah. And I have like a clean energy, but also like, I just try to I have like a routine usually that I stick to be like sort of knowing what to expect and be prepared. Okay. Yeah, I found out the other night when Tom and I were doing something. This is sort of like guitar. It's like. Oh, hey. You don't have one because she.
I gotcha.
Did something and the spring flew off.
Wow, that's cool. That's like I don't know what you would. It sounds like, I want to say it does sound like some type of instrument. Oh yeah.
Let your light shine down.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There you go.
Oh yeah, hold on, I forgot to do this.
Let your light shine. Yeah.
That gives me a point to.
Let your light shine down. Yeah.
I just clapped really loud. He's almost like, what is that dude doing over there?
Oh man.
I always wonder what these people they can see out their windows. I've been over here a couple times with my phone set up and just over here like microphones like burr, burr, burr.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder like fucking FBI's out there, dude. What are they doing? What's out there doing that? But yeah, dude. Hold on, let me do this because I want to make sure that the video is right. Okay. I don't want to do the whole thing and it be wrong. Yeah. And then I'll do what I do.
I want to say your phone also may need a sweater for the season. A little phone case to keep it warm. Let your light shine down. No. And all the constant sorrow on days. Mama just killed the man.
Just making sure that radio wasn't on.
I've been watching.
Put my seatbelt on. It doesn't look bad.
Cool. I've been watching a lot of Freddie Mercury lately. Because I have a couple impressions that have to do with Freddie Mercury. So I was watching the concert, but I also like watching YouTube reactors on YouTube watch the concerts.
You were telling me about that. You watch people watch movies.
Yeah.
But I don't watch them on YouTube. I just watch them through the window.
Oh, yeah. I like to see the different perspectives. Yeah, yeah.
It's out there. It's like snowing. You're like mouthing the words of the movie.
Yeah.
You're watching Home Alone. You're like,
Oh.
keep that change, you filthy animal. You're like, that's my favorite part. They turn around. You're laughing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I watched people watch Home Alone too.
Really?
Yeah. Because on their Patreon, you can watch the whole movie, but on YouTube, they edit it so it's only parts of the movie. But on that YouTube video, you get to see the parts of the movie that they put in that they reacted to the most and what they liked the most, and
Oh yeah.
and every reactor is different, like.
Do you show like do you post like your reaction to their reaction to the reaction?
Oh man, I wish that would be pretty awesome.
I should do that.
Yeah,
the Brady Bunch thing where it's like boo,
yeah.
boo, boo.
I actually, there is this guy. He has a channel where he posts multiple reactions from the same scene. He takes the same movie scene, but he shows you this reactor reacting to it, and he shows you that person.
So they actually have a thing called Reactor?
Or
did you make that up? Because that's a pretty good name.
I want to say there is that name.
There is now.
There is this guy. He's I think it's called the channel's first time watching. So he takes different people.
You've been muted the whole time. I'm just joking.
Oh wow.
That would be hilarious. That would be like.
Yeah,
My favorite one, bro.
Nice, man.
Somebody cracked a joke. I'm like,
I like that.
hey,
That
you
sounds
can
like
change those if you want.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
That does, right?
I started watching Everybody Loves Raymond because I've heard the laugh track or the studio audience in that, and I was like, that's a nice laughing audience. And I haven't watched anything with
Raymond.
Yeah, Raymond. Like, I always like. That's how much I like reactions. Is that Raymond? Yeah, right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, people reacting to things, like, I like hearing that. So, like, I remember I used to watch the clips, and sometimes I wouldn't even watch it. I would just fall asleep listening to it, just because the laughter, it comforted me to sleep. Yeah. So yeah, there were plenty of times where I enjoyed falling asleep to that, and then it switched to the next video, like Frasier, King of Queens. Now I watched a lot of King of Queens.
Those are probably around the same time. Frasier, I think, was a little earlier.
Yeah, I know King of Queens, and
I think he came back though.
King of Queens?
No, Frasier. I want to say that it was
Frasier Part 2. Yeah, I still haven't watched those episodes. I want to.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
One of the most hilarious things, I didn't know if this was true or not. I still never looked it up, but it seems like it is. That when the whole Roseanne thing happened, they like killed her character off.
Oh, who's character?
Roseanne.
Oh, right.
And then I guess they like killed her off and then just changed the whole thing. And I'm like, that's like hilarious.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh my dude, like they're like, yeah, we can have Roseanne without Roseanne. That's like fucked up.
Right, that's so crazy. It's like we have enough content now that we could have a show without Roseanne. It's like, yeah, man, it was her show, her name on it. She was the main character. And yeah, the show got so good that it built a whole world around her.
Yeah, my mom loved that show. We used to watch it a lot.
Yeah, same here.
That
yeah,
and
man.
Tool Time, or not Tool Time.
Yeah, Tool Time.
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
That
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, want to work on the hot rod? Yeah. Man, yeah, that's right.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Oh man, Al.
Yeah.
Oh,
just out here, just gazing upon the. You say some like philosophical shit.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, sounds like something my old lady wanted.
Yeah.
He would crack some like dumb joke.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Yeah, with Jill and stuff. Yeah, I have a lot of time, like a lot of memories of eating pasta, watching Home Improvement. It was like around dinner time, and they eating pasta or whatever, watching Home Improvement.
I guess I was eating pasta, but it was Hamburger Helper.
Ah, really?
I'd be in my room.
Oh, okay.
We would have dinner, but then everybody would go sit at their TV tables wherever respective places.
Oh.
So they would be in the living room, and I would just go to my room.
Oh, okay.
I had a couch in my room that like I put it in there with had a fold out bed, but I just slept on the couch part.
Oh, okay.
And I would be in my room watching like Comedy Central.
Oh, nice.
Or whatever, because usually it was South Park or one of those 30-minute specials. What do they call it? What's it called?
A 30-minute special.
Yeah, they had these comedy specials that were 30 minutes. They were called
sitcoms. No.
Comedy Central. It wasn't Premium Blend. It was they were like half-hour specials.
It wasn't like Mad TV or something.
No, it was on Comedy Central, and it was like a half-hour comedy special by like a comedian. Like Dane Cook had one.
Yes. I think maybe I seen a few of those.
Central.
Carlos Mencia, maybe.
Yeah, he probably had one. A bunch of people had one.
George Lopez.
There was a lot of people that had the 30-minute.
Yeah. I remember there's probably the first time I seen stand up. My cousin used to show me stuff, probably from Comedy Central.
I don't know what it's called though.
Right, it was. Yeah, I remember Mind of Mencia was one of them.
And I like to call it somebody else's of Mencia, not mine of Mencia.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
right. Recycled Mencia. Yeah, I want to say that's. I mean, if you're starting out as a comedian, or if you're starting out as anything, like if you're doing music, doing movie, it does help to do other people's content, just so you get practice in it.
Not like on stage though.
Yeah, definitely not on stage. Like I don't know if you know Brandon Ray.
Yeah, I know him. I just kind of met him.
He has a whole he built his own stage in his house.
Oh man, I did a bunch of that kind of stuff before I ever even got on stage.
Oh, okay.
I took every like opportunity to procrastinate.
Oh.
And decided like I'm gonna do this because it'll make me more ready.
Oh, okay.
And so I had like a PA that my buddy had. It was like a guitar. It was for his guitar, but then I had like a microphone and a stand. And my one roommate would be in there drinking beers, and I would just be on the microphone. And I had another buddy that he still comes to my shows. It's crazy, but he remembers like when we were at this house. It was like 2010. Yeah. 2010, I think. And I had like he was sitting in the chair, and I just would be making up jokes. And he's like, "You wrote that one joke," and I forget what it was. Something about playing guitar and losing your virginity, or like the same thing. You don't know where to put your hands. You're not good at it. You don't know where to put your fingers. All this other shit. I don't know. Something stupid like that.
Hey, that's pretty good. I like that. I see. That's one of my things. Like I like mixing things together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's been one of my things. I've been doing a lot of that with my material, mixing things together.
And the more like ridiculous you can get.
Yeah.
Like that. What's that Floria guy? Jared Floria. Mad Hatter. He was doing that. He did it tonight too, I think. But he did it at Mad Hatter. He did that frog bit.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of reminds me of Dusty Slay a little bit. But
okay.
If you like he has like all these like things he does about it, and there's some stuff that probably could be cut and some stuff that could be added, all that kind of thing. But like say you were doing something where you're blending two characters or something, and then you're like or where you have like this character going to the doctor or the DMV or something, and he's like what do you mean you don't take my insurance? Like something stupid like that, like You know, just like these little intricate details of things that you would hear or say at this place. Which, on a side note, I gotta tell you this. One time was thinking about like just doing like showing up at like an emergency room, waiting room, and just popping up a fucking microphone and being like, "Why you guys doing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know. And Sydney was like, you would definitely get arrested. And I was like, you think so? Like, it was like I wasn't even like,
oh my god.
I was like, you think so? Like, that would be legit.
In the waiting room of a hospital?
Yeah, like an emergency room, bro. Not like they're there for like.
Yeah, that's a different story. At the same time, you could argue the argument that you're doing comedy in the places where they need it the most.
Maybe not though. Maybe they're there because like, you know, they're having one of their like migraine episodes or and plus like everyone like what if a bunch of people are sick?
Yeah.
You know, it's just there's a whole bunch of little things I didn't think about at first, but at the beginning, even still, it sounds sort of legendary. I like shit like that where people say like, man, one time that dude, you know, and then something crazy comes after that. And like sometimes I'll think of like, but it's more about it can't be just something ridiculous. It has to be something ridiculous that just like, but it makes sense sort of. And sometimes it's like I'll plan something like that, and sometimes it'll just happen. Like I was on stage one time, and this dude wanted me to do more time than what he asked me to do, but he had the crowd go, like, you don't want to do more? And they were like, yeah. I was like, well, you didn't pay me to do more. So I'm like, oh, okay then. So there was a wireless mic, and I looked outside. There's like where this venue is. It's a good little room. It's like, you know, tables and chairs set up sort of like a club. I mean, you know, I would call it more of a lounge setup, but it has a bar in the back. Nice place. And then in the middle, it's like that Grand Prairie Station or something like that. In the middle, there's like a food court area, big food court area when you go out of that venue. So I took the mic, I walked off the stage and went out the doors into the food court area. And just walked up to some table. It was like, you know, 3 Hispanic chicks sitting at the table eating or something.
Oh, damn.
And I walked up with a microphone, and Cody Swindell was in the back. He filmed inside the showroom. Oh, okay. And then Sydney followed me out, and she filmed me outside.
Oh, shit.
Doing the joke. And so I have the audio where it's like me saying, like, hey, there's some people in there. I'm doing a comedy show right now. They can hear me. You know. So I'm going to tell you guys a joke real quick. And so I told them the bologna sandwich joke. And they just like, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go see how it went. And they all started laughing, and I ran in. Like, you guys laugh? They're like, yeah. But then I realized, I was like, I'm pretty sure that those girls didn't speak English. You know? It was really weird. But at the same time, it was just funny. Like, there's just stuff sometimes that may not, it may not be really funny right at that moment. As funny as it will be later. Like one time I did a show back home, and it was like the first time I did a show back home, it went great, and then the next time it was this nightmare situation. It just it got so bad that it became funny to me, to where there was just all this stuff that I had to deal with, where they made me start the show really early. The sun was up. There's a big old room that the PA didn't work. Had these little guitars thing like this big, and like people were like, it was just ridiculous. It was almost an impossible situation, you know. And then my mom got like super drunk, and I had to make her leave. It was a crazy, but it was like a long recording, and Sydney happened to be recording the audio, and I was like, oh my god, I love you for that. Because later I was like, we're gonna listen to this, and it's gonna be hilarious. We were living in the bus at the time, and we drove through there, and dude, it was like, you know, that whole night, and my buddy showed up and got me like super drunk, and my dad was there. And I don't drink ever like that on stage, but my dad was there, and he's a recovering alcoholic, you know. So like, it was really weird. He never comes to anything like that. And I just think like he probably thinks of that when he thinks of me doing this, you know. But he sees other stuff online.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you know, like, I guess too, man. Eventually, you get to a point where you kind of don't care about
your audience.
No, you don't care about getting the approval of people in your life to see what I'm doing.
I get you.
At some point, there's a point where you first want to like show everybody that you're doing something legitimate, or like, hey, like I'm not wasting my time here. And then there's you know, eventually some point where that sheds, and you kind of just realize, like, there was a point when I realized, like, I found out some big news, and my first reaction, not in a bad way, but my first reaction wasn't like, oh, I told my mom, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
like,
right.
I kind of didn't tell nobody.
Okay.
Like, I think it was when I got on Skankfest, and I just kind of kept it to myself for like 2 days, and then I finally told my girlfriend, and I was like, guess what? She's like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, I already known for 2 days, didn't say nothing. And then another time I thought I got on Skankfest Vegas, and they had like a flyer with my face on it and everything, and I had gotten it.
Whoa.
And I thought, oh, I didn't know I got on that, and I posted about it, and then I was like, let me double check. So I hit up the chick that runs it. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't put you on.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, okay, good to know.
Wow.
Yeah, never mind on that. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself.
Oh my gosh.
But I wasn't too worried about it. It was funny. I wasn't like, I was thinking like maybe y'all should fix that glitch. Because she's like, yeah, there's just a glitch in the system where it sends these like flyers to people that don't, that were already on the other festival. And I was like, well, why would you have that? Just start a new list or something. Like, I'd be like an idiot. But
oh man, this is
so airport.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Before we go on, did you say Vegas?
Skankfest. You know Skankfest, the festival. It's a comedy festival. It's like, so there's like the podcast The Legion of Skanks.
Oh, okay.
You know that podcast?
Yeah.
With Louis J and all. Big J.
Yeah, I'm not a big watch, but.
Yeah, like I catch some of it. I was more of a bonfire podcast person because I always liked Dan Soder and Big J together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I kind of know, like, I'm not like super good friends with them, but like I've hung out with both of them. Weirdly, it was a separate situation. It's a long story. It was pretty funny, but I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
So I always liked their vibe together.
Okay.
And then I think it changed to what's his name, Robert? What's his name? He took Soder's spot, and this is not as interested in as I used to be. But what was the point? Where were we?
Yeah, you said Vegas.
Oh no. Yeah. So Legion of Skanks, Louis J at some point decided like we should start a comedy festival called Skankfest, and cool. So they did. And it was like in New York, I think, the first however many times it was. And then they did it in Houston, and they called it Skankfest South. And that's the one that I got on. And then they did one, I think they were going to do it in Vegas. And I thought I got on that one.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
No.
That's weird. I thought I heard the door, like.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's the mic peaking or something. But yeah, I didn't get on it. It was like a mistake. Well, they've had it in Vegas again. I'm not sure if they did it in another spot, but yeah. When I found out about that, I didn't tell my mom.
That's too bad. So you never performed in Vegas?
No, I've performed in Vegas, but not on that festival.
Oh, okay.
I went and did.
Oh, crazy.
There's this club. I think it might still be there. This is probably back in 2019.
Okay.
I went with my buddy Matt and this guy Butch that used to be here. He's an old comic that now I think he's in Tucson. But
okay.
We all drove to Vegas together, and we did this club called it was in the Big D Casino. It was called, I have a shirt that says it. I can't remember it. But it's this comedy club that was in there in the casino.
That's
and
badass. Okay.
Yeah, I think we did probably like 4 shows. We didn't really get paid much. If anything, I think they gave us some beer. They gave us free drinks for a little while.
Nice. I like that.
And I went there broke, dude. I went there broke. Had a medical situation going on.
Wow.
And like, I really was like in this position where I couldn't really like party or anything. I didn't have the money, and I wasn't like in the like physical state to be like just out partying, and it was so hot, and like it was just kind of miserable. And I remember I remember I went to buy a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus, the pizza was like $25 a slice or something. It's ridiculous, man. I didn't have it. Well, they had so much money, and I was just like, oh, man, I'm starving.
Jeez.
And so I just went ahead and bought it just so I could eat it and not, like, die.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, like, I just was ready to be home, you know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Vegas. It's all right.
I gotcha.
It just doesn't do it for me. A lot of people like,
I understand. Like, yeah. I noticed one chick I met on Instagram. She's from California. She said she goes to Vegas every once in a while just for like a getaway for herself. She plays on the machine. She likes to drink. She likes to vape. You know, just as a getaway for herself. I'm like, man, I can't imagine spending that much money at places like once in a while. She likes to travel often too, not just to Vegas. But yeah, man, that's crazy. So yeah, speaking of traveling, the
airport.
Yeah, I used to work in an airport. I want to say you started comedy in 2008.
No, I started technically, like the first time I went up on stage and did stand-up comedy, like what we are doing now. Like I did some comedy shit in drama club and all that good school. But I don't count any of that. I would say the first time I went up was like 2012, but I really started in like 2014, something like that.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay,
2014, 2015, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. So 2008 I started working at the airport, and I finished college by that time. And so there was a time when I wasn't working, I wasn't going to school, and I was at home just chilling, you know. And then one of the friends from the family, he was like, I could hook you up with a job. I'll give you an application. You could push people in wheelchairs. I'm like, okay, that's what's up. So 2008, and I worked there like at least 4.5 years. And so it was just, you know, he was explaining you help people in wheelchairs get to where they need to go in the airport. And this was south side of Chicago.
This is in Chicago.
Yeah, this is Chicago.
Yeah, you talking about that? I think it said O'Hare. You said no, it was a smaller one.
Yeah, it was Midway is the smaller one. Thankfully, yeah, because O'Hare, it's.
Oh God, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
you'd be like, oh hell.
Yeah, you got a whole different system in the bigger airports. Like I've been in the DFW airport, and like they got the train in there. It's like a whole.
I think there was a sign that said that it's technically like bigger than the island of Manhattan.
Oh, DFW?
Yeah.
Damn. No, I believe it because. Yeah, they got the train. They have a whole train system in there that goes. Yeah, thankfully, Midway Airport is so simple. It's very simple and basic and small. There's only 2 terminals.
Oh wow, dude.
Yeah, Terminal A and Terminal B.
And then you got things like, Frankie Watson, you're wanted at Terminal A. And you're like, oh shit, I'm at Terminal B.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make my flight.
Yeah.
Like, connection.
Yeah. We were using the walkie-talkies a lot. Tony, copy Tony. Yeah, there would be like
next to you.
There would be like I need 6 to the A, which means they need 6 wheelchair assistants to A, and then I'll be like copy Tony to the A. And then Tony, could you take 2 chairs from A14 or A12 or whatever? They would ask me to take 2 if it was busy, or if it wasn't slow. If it wasn't slow, and if it was busy, they would be like, yeah, take 2 chairs from
I
here.
hate to do it to you, but yeah, Carlos called in, and then you're gonna have to push 2 today.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah. If there was
pushed 2 yesterday.
Right, yeah. No, when people start out, they don't start out taking 2 right away. They have to take 1 for a while, And then
You're not ready for 2.
Yeah,
bro.
you're not ready for 2. Yeah, you have to get good enough to like take 2 chairs. Yeah. People be nervous to take 2
Old
chairs.
lady's like, how long you been pushing 2
Yeah,
chairs?
yeah.
How long you been doing this, Shani?
Yeah. And after a while, I got so good at it, it just became a normal thing. And the passengers, they'd be like, "Wow, you're really good at this." Yeah.
Like you're the pilot of this thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, okay, here's part 2 of your journey. Like,
thank you for rolling with Tony the Tiger Airways.
Yeah. Tony will be your next pilot. He'll be taking you from the gate area to get your baggage down at luggage claim.
It's nice, cool 60 degrees outside. It's 3:23 in the afternoon. Thank you for calling. Thank you for having a flight.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Make sure that's where you see the seatbelt light. Don't stand up in the wheelchair now.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, we would wait for them in the jetway until the plane gets there. Like they would tell us to get there, so we were getting there usually 15 minutes before the plane lands. Everyone gets out, and we stand behind the chair.
Do you have to guess which one?
Huh?
Do you have to guess which one? Do you ever go like, I bet it's that guy that needs a wheelchair?
Oh yeah. We would get those. Oh, okay, I know it. Yeah.
Do you guys like try to see who can guess like who it is?
Oh yeah.
Who needs the wheelchair?
Yeah. After a while,
I told you.
I told you it was that guy. Yeah. Sometimes they'll get off the plane and they'll be like, either it'll be a new thing. They'll be like, "Is this for me?" And I'm like, yes, please sit down. Or they'll be like so used to it and they'll just sit down right away and they're like, I need to go here. And just be whatever. But sometimes they'll be so thankful to pay. Oh, thank you, is this for me? Oh, okay, great, I need to get my bags.
What is the thing called again? A wheelchair?
Yeah. Sometimes they would need a little help getting off the actual plane and sitting in the chair, so you would have to bring the chair close by
you have to carry them.
Well, sometimes I got training for that too. Sometimes they need help getting from the airport seat down to yeah. So it's called an aisle chair. So you would have someone in front of them grabbing their legs, and then someone in the back grabbing their arms, and you would lift them together onto an aisle seat chair that rolled out of the plane. So you would push them out of the plane and be like, okay, great, we're out of the plane. And then you would do it again, lift them onto the wheelchair. And then the second guy, he would finish his job, and let's say I would take them, and then I would take them. And then hopefully there'll be someone there to pick them up at the jetway or at the baggage claim. Yeah. One time there was now since we're talking about picking them up from the airport.
Yeah, you roll with it.
Yeah. So there was this one guy, he was paraplegic, right? So which is paralyzed from the chest down. And so this was the last
for the lay person.
Huh?
For the lay person?
The lay person?
I'm just joking, as in like what paraplegic means.
Oh, okay.
For the lay person.
A lay person?
Because they lay down all the time.
Oh yeah. He would have the lounge chair basically. Yeah. So he had his own chair, and so this is the last flight of the night, and usually they just and this is gonna be aisle stairs. So me and someone was there to lift him off the plane seat and put him in his own wheelchair. And the other guy, he left. He was done for the night. I'm like, thanks for helping. So I take him to get his baggage, and then we go outside, and he needs to get picked up, right? But the people that are supposed to pick him up, they weren't there to pick him up. They couldn't pick him up at that time.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So you had to pick them up.
Ooh.
I'm just joking.
Oh, right. Right, you have to be the one to pick him up.
I was like, we gotta pick all these people up. They can't
Yeah,
pick
that's
him up.
crazy, man. So the only next option was to get a taxi, right? But the only taxi he could go in is a handicap taxi. But those only come in the morning. Like you had to wait till 6:15 a.m. to get one of those. And this is the last flight of the night, which is like after 1:30 in the morning, right? So okay, so at this point the airline would take over and watch this person because, you know, we're technically not supposed to wait out there with them unless they're getting picked up, you know. But since there was no airline people, I had to wait with them, especially since he couldn't leave his chair, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a situation.
Yeah.
This is a total situation. Meanwhile, the supervisor was in the office. Tony Capitoni, are you still busy? Yes, I'm still busy. And then I had to slowly explain the situation to my supervisor. And yeah, man. So I had to be with him there, and like we got all his luggage.
Late.
Huh?
Late at night. What if he was just like, fuck this, and he stood up and walked off?
Right. Yeah, fuck this, right? Yeah, no, totally, man. No, he was definitely paraplegic, man. Yeah, apparently, someone from the airline came and talked to him. It was like from a car accident, I think it was. She was like, "Oh, from a car accident did this to you?" And yeah, he was like, "Yeah, man." So I wasn't sure how long at that time he's been paralytic for, but you know, it's just like when you work in an ambulance, you can't let the situation, you know, affect you emotionally. You know, you have to do the job. You know, so after doing so many, you know, helping those passengers, you get used to it, and you know, you understand their situation, but you know, you have to be there to help the situation the best way you can.
Yeah, normalize it sort of. So
yeah, you have to be the calm person in the situation and help no matter what.
Yeah.
So speaking of being in a situation, because I was waiting with him there for such a long time, he eventually he had to use the bathroom.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
really?
and I did this. I told this story on stage a couple times, but now I'm getting more detailed and thorough with it. So he had to go to the bathroom.
Just tell it naturally. Don't worry about it.
Right. So he's explaining to me like if I pee on myself, we're gonna have some bigger issues here. Like I don't know if he said he was gonna have a seizure or he was gonna have something. Like if he
just like didn't want to piss on himself. If he's like, it's real bad, dude.
Yeah.
Fire starts.
Yeah, dude. And like,
trying to talk you in there.
Yeah, no, and like here's the thing, dude. Also, like I've been helping people in wheelchairs for a while at this point, and also when I was a kid, I used to have bedwetting problems for a while. And I also know how it is to have to use the bathroom in the worst places, like in school or church. Like some people, I've told a few people, when I was 5, I was play wrestling with my dad, you know, just play fighting, like, yeah, you know, in the father and son way, you know. But my dad, he accidentally kicked me in the left nut.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I was bleeding.
Oh no.
Yeah, it made me bleed.
He's like, I fucking win. Take that, bitch.
Damn, dude. Yeah, for real, man. Yeah, because I don't know. I probably thought I was winning at the time, and then it surprised me. Gotcha.
It was like Grandma's boy.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Your
Yeah.
nuts are bleeding or whatever.
No, it was a total accident, though. I mean, I had to sit down for a couple hours.
You didn't go to the hospital?
No, I didn't go to hospital. The thing was, my family, my mom's side of the family particularly, they were very much affiliated with natural medicine and stuff like that. So my mom figured, you know, she knew how to take care of the situation. I remember.
She's just saging you.
Yeah, no, I remember she was using aloe vera gel as well on where I got cut, where I was bleeding.
You're like, Mom, that's enough.
Yeah. Oh
like
man,
20 minutes,
yeah.
stop rubbing it.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I probably was applying it myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually, yeah, I put like a towel over it, and eventually the bleeding stopped, and yeah, I just sit there for a while, and yeah, man. So we're thinking, okay, everything's good now. The bleeding stopped. The cut is going away. Okay, it's all good. But as I grew up, I had some issues holding in my pee. It's like, can you hold it? I'm like, I don't think so. Like I didn't realize how easy it can be. Like growing up, yeah, just hold it. People just say, just hold it.
Yeah, but no.
You know?
You wait too long?
Yeah, so my situation was a little different. Yeah, I remember getting up at church one time, and it was, the preacher was like, Tony, because I went to school there also.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Baptist school and church, so I went to school there also. So the preacher, he knew me. He was like, Tony. And I turned around. He's like, where you going? I'm like, to the bathroom. He's like, hurry up. And like in the middle of church, I'm like, you know, because he knew me, everybody knew me so well, so I had to hurry up. And like situations like that, I remember I was like in this school thing, and I had to go so bad, I was like holding myself.
Oh, yeah, that seems to help.
Yeah. And I remember like my brother-in-law was there, and he was trying to get me to stop holding myself. And I was like, we're gonna have some bigger issues here. So yeah, there were times where I pissed my pants, you know.
It happens.
Yeah, man, it happens. And times I wet the bed, not just at home, but like at sleepovers. I mean, it was like family, at least, like at a cousin's house. But you know, thankfully it wasn't as a friend I just met. Like, yeah, that would be so messed.
I mean, I've had friends that did it like all that, where it was like not even as a kid. I just remember I had one friend, especially when we were drinking or something. And it would always get to this point where he just like would pee himself.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, at least I could tell when it was coming. It was just sometimes it would come, and I'll be like, ooh, things got. Well, it messes with everything else, you know. Not just your balls, but your bladder, your kidney.
I had when I went to Vegas, you know. This is weird to talk about, but I've talked about this on stage as well, but.
Oh, okay.
Still kind of weird, but around that time, like I had to have surgery on my junk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I had like cancer. I had to get cancer surgery.
Man.
And I couldn't like. Basically, it was like just a nightmare.
Wow.
And I was like, I went to Vegas and back, and I'm like bandaging, rebandaging, because it would take like weeks, like 6 to 8 weeks or something. I guess you can hear it.
Oh, I was like, oh,
it'd take like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there was no like, it was like a huge task just to go to the bathroom. And, you know, so definitely nothing going on, like no sexual, no nothing like that. No way.
Right, because you got to heal.
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, don't even be around me, because like, I was saying I didn't even watch TV, I didn't even look at my own butt, you know what I mean?
Wow.
I was like, dude, that fart sounded sexy.
Yeah.
But basically, like, it's oftentimes if I think back on it, I'm like, oh, man, thank goodness that, you know, because I was kind of worried too, like after it all, because after the surgery, you know, everything gets like swollen and weird.
Ooh, yeah.
And then it finally all goes back to normal, but it doesn't seem like it ever. I was like, there's no way this is not going to go back to normal.
Oh.
You know? But, you know, it did, thank goodness.
Good.
I always say I have a scar.
Oh, okay.
It looks like my junk just got back from Iraq.
Oh, okay. Damn, that's crazy.
Did 2 tours.
Oh.
But yeah, man, it's like, you know, it's a weird thing. Just in general, to have to like explain to people, like,
yeah,
you know, there's this thing that happened, like, you know, and it's like a vulnerable thing.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff people are supposed to talk about on podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, for sure,
You
man.
gotta make yourself a little vulnerable, and people don't like that. People just want to like try to be funny or something.
Yeah. But
which
yeah,
I still try to like crack jokes all the time.
Yeah.
Even during serious stories.
Yeah, these things come out, you know. I remember I was watching podcasts for a while, and I was like, man, I wish there would be someone that would just cry one time. Like I was like, man, I haven't seen anybody cry on a podcast, you know, because I would think, you know, you get vulnerable at times, like, you know.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of times too that I don't really listen to a podcast where it's not like comedy related or something. Even if it's like you know, there's podcasts like that, like Joe Rogan does, like it's a comedy, it's a comedian doing a podcast.
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily always. It's not always in that realm. Where it's like, you know, he'll be talking to somebody about something serious, but it's more of like he just became a good interviewer.
Yeah, especially now that he's been doing it so long. And his whole spot is like a man cave, and you have everything there. He has his coffee, his liquor, his reefer.
But you notice too though that like I don't want to get too much on just talking about podcast stuff, but when people set up, like they always, it's almost like they're setting up based off of that structure or that blueprint of like you have to have your cameras and your tables and your TV thing. It has to look like this, or you know, there's always just this setup where there's all this going on. I kind of have to do that in here. But I try to like. Basically, it takes you away from that setting, so where you're not like feeling like you're sitting in this room. And, you know, it takes the edge off, I think, of people feeling like they're doing something, and because oftentimes I would do podcasts and I would just sort of ready for them to be done. Because I felt like I just want to do this and do good at it, and then once it's done, you feel it's like, oh. You can relax, sort of thing. You're not, you know, on the hot spot anymore. In the hot seat. Whereas I wanted it to be more like just sitting there bullshitting. And just kind of get lost in. And so. And I just think that it's not going to do anybody any good. Trying to do the same exact thing. Someone else is doing. And thinking that like, oh, but my personality though. You know, now you get Tom on almost anything, dude. And, you know, but even on this thing, like I want him to be. He would probably have done it tonight, but he rode with them other guys, and I was just trying to think of like, I was like, you know, this is not going to be conducive to what I have to do, because I got to go over there and check the shit every now and then. And you know, if like she was loud, when he's drinking, especially, he starts fucking being loud, yelling, and I just can't. I don't want to have him yelling, "Hey, you fucking," out the window and shit. Everybody's like, what's going on? And you know, whereas like. It's just more of a sense that like I want him to be on it more often than not, but you don't have to be on it every time or anything. So I kind of just do it. That's kind of why I do it this way, so that I can do it whenever. It doesn't need to be like specifically two people at the same time with another person or whatever. It could just be like me talking to somebody else. A lot of them that I've done, dude, a good bit of most of them have been just me and one other person. And so like you know, the very first one is like the short little segment. I just recorded it just to get the tests done. I didn't want to go too crazy because I didn't want to be like, man, I can't use none of this. So I had the lapel mics in these so I could get a comparison of like what it really needed to be. And then after that, it was like Tom and I did like I think 2 or 3 of them, just us. You know, I did one at Hatter Monday where I had Swindell in here and Tyler got in for a little bit.
Oh, cool.
It was a little short recording, probably not even 40 minutes long. And then the one on Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, because you know, she's a comic too. She doesn't come out a lot.
Really?
Anymore. Yeah.
What's her name?
Sydney Carson. But you probably never met her because she hasn't really been out a lot. And
Sydney. Okay. No.
Yeah, so what was I gonna say?
That's cool.
So we came up here on Valentine's Day, I kind of tried to make it where I was trying to make her think that I was going to leave and go podcast with somebody on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
But it was really going to be her. And I was like, it's the
Oh.
last person you would expect me to be podcasting with, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And we came up here. We were up here for a long time, dude. I don't know how long we actually recorded because there was a bunch of like stops and starts.
Yeah.
And I was also doing some tests on like how things. Man, I think my phone keeps moving. I think the wind's moving it. Anyways.
Oh.
We were up here for a few hours, and yeah, you know, it was just one of those things where we didn't have anything going on. The next day was my birthday. It was a Saturday. And so, you know, why not? And like, it kind of was fortunate that things happened the way it did today, because it means that I would have to be up all night and not work tomorrow. And normally I'd be doing this and then be like, all right, we got to stop here because I got to pack all this shit up. Then I got to go eventually got to get back to my place. And, you know, get into bed and all that and do all, you know, I have to get my clothes ready for work. So by the time I'm like getting home, I can get like 3 hours of sleep. And then I work the whole next day. And then eventually I get back around to editing. And I'd like to be able to do it where I do the podcast. You know, eventually I'm at my apartment eating whatever, and I just put on the headphones and just knock out the edit real quick. Because I already have the template, I have everything ready, so I should be able to just plug it, line it up, and be done. You know, just, once I'm listening to it, I can just figure out what I need to. I can cut that out, chop, move it here, and then that's it. I don't want to have to listen to it like. I don't want to have to keep. I don't want it to be where I gotta like do a whole bunch of stuff. I just want it to be where, like, I put it in there once I figure out the beginning and the end, the intro, the outro. Yeah. And then everything in the middle, as long as there's, like, nothing crazy. Because you get... Some people are going to say crazy stuff that you're like, yeah, I got to cut that out.
Oh, I gotcha.
You know?
But
for the most part, I want it to just be... You know, so if I do a podcast and the person hears it and they go, hey... Can we not put that part in? I'm probably gonna be like, well, why don't you want to put it in there? And then I'm gonna try to like reason with them. If it's like, and if it's a good reason, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take it out. Okay. But I'm not gonna go against somebody's. You know, like if there was something you didn't want me to put in, I won't be like, no, tough titty. You know, I'm not gonna do that. So. I just try to tell people like, just pretend like it's live. Because you're making me have to do more work. Live
is pretty good too. Speaking of live, I don't know why I came up with this idea. I'm gonna tell you about this live idea right after I finish.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I didn't even think.
We're talking about the pee thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell you about this live idea I had, but so I was talking about the pee thing because he had to go pee, and I was feeling him because I had to go. When I was a kid, I know how bad it is.
You been feeling him, and then I knew how he felt.
I know how it is.
I'm feeling on him. Like, it don't feel like you gotta pee.
I know how it is to have to go to pee.
Is that better? How about when I hold it for you?
Oh man, well you're gonna like this next part.
How did he know he had to pee?
Well, I mean, I guess he has experience with it.
Yeah, but I mean, if he can't feel it, like,
I don't know.
Does he have like an alarm that goes off, like beep beep beep?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure how much feeling he has, but he was able to know.
I'm just saying.
Oh man, no, he really had to pee. He said if he would pee on this house, something would happen.
I'm telling you, I can feel it.
Right.
I gotta go.
Yeah, no, for sure. So man, he had to go, and the only way for him to go is to get the catheter in him and pee through the tube. And
so you had to do that?
I had to do that, man.
You had to do a catheter?
Yeah, because if we had to work, if we would have had the bad stuff happen, it would have made the situation even worse.
Yeah, but how you like? Did you retrain for that?
I mean, right? They told me like, don't you have to be certified to do that? Yeah. So he I know. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's so iffy, man. It's scary. But in this situation, I was like, okay, I have to do this, and he walked me through it. He told me what to do.
It's like, all right, now get it in your hand.
Right,
Not
right.
that.
Yeah, man. He gave me gloves. He had the whole everything.
That's
He had the gloves. He had
nuts.
the tube. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I helped it in there.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. So I want to say he was ready to go. He's like, hurry up, get it in there, because I'm ready to go. And yeah, I got it in there in time. It came out right away. The pee came out right away once I got it in there. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, man, it came out. He went. I made sure it was all out. I'm like, okay, you're good.
You pat him on the back, like.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, burp.
Yeah, man. That was crazy, man.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, thankfully, yeah, there were no leaks or anything. It was successful pee. So yeah, man, and we were able to. I was able to take it out, and he was able to, put the bag wherever he needed to put it. And yeah, it was successful. I threw the gloves away, washed my hands, or whatever. Yeah, took him back outside. He says, I don't know. He said to open up his fanny pack, right? So open up his fanny pack. He had a roll of $100 bills.
Oh, he must have got paid for that car, right?
I
bro?
guess so, yeah, because he must have been sick. He's like, get you one of them. Oh my gosh, thank you, at least that.
Dude, I'd have been like, what if I take two?
Right, I know, right? Yeah. A lot of people say that I should have deserved more for
no,
that.
but even still, like, you could have been a person that was like,
Right, yeah, no.
I'm taking all of
yeah,
them.
I know, right? I could have negotiated somewhat, yeah. But at that time, that was the biggest tip I ever had.
Oh yeah, why would you do that? You lose your job. They're gonna know it's you.
Yeah, right. We're technically not supposed to.
The judge is gonna be like, hold on a second, let me get this straight. So you put a tube inside his. Wait, and then you stole his. What the hell?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I definitely just took the. I was happy. I already made so much money that night. Oh wait, I think I made $85 at least in tips that night.
We gave you 100 though.
Well, with that 100, that was a cherry topper. So now I had 180.
It's crazy.
$85, $185 worth of tip. Total.
Hey, like you start, like, hey, you guys need a catheter or anything?
Yeah.
Trying to make some extra cash,
dude. Because that's how I was when someone asked me if they need. Could you help me with my baggage? And I helped them with their baggage.
They're
They
like,
give me.
"No, what are you doing?"
They give me like $20 or whatever. So ever since then, I was looking for more people that need help with their baggage and baggage.
Looking for more paraplegics.
Yeah, right. I know. Right.
I know he walked.
That would have been the next step, sir. Or do you need a pee? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Dude, I really started doing that because there was like a couple passengers like I dropped off and they didn't have a ride. I'm like, do you need a ride? Thinking that, and then this one lady, I think I took the lady first. She gave me $100 or $60.
Wow.
For taking me to her house. Yeah, because she didn't have a ride, And then I think I took another lady. She gave me $100 for taking her home.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, it was the guy who gave me $60 for taking him home. It was cool. The guy was cool. We were listening to music the whole time. He was jamming along. And then he was like, "You got some more things than Beatles? You're playing a lot of Beatles." Because this was in my iPod days. Because I had my iPod.
Yeah, you change it.
Yeah,
It's like rolling.
Yeah, I remember Frank Sinatra was on. He was like, "Oh, come on, Frankie." He's like singing along. He's like, "Come on, Frankie." Oh man, yeah, that was.
I did it my way.
Yeah, he was jamming along, dude. That was a fun ride. The lady, I walked her in her house because is the older lady. So yeah, she was in the walker or something. I remember I walked her in her house and her daughter or somebody relatives was waiting there, and the relative was so welcoming. She was like, "Thank you for bringing her home. Do you like to come in, have some tea?" Or they were talking to me for a little bit and whatever.
Yeah.
So they were very nice. They were very kind, and They give me $100.
It's crazy.
And yeah, man, like that was cool, man. Like
Imagine if, like, you're just like, you know, you're like, fine, you like snuck your way in, and then they're just like, come on in, and
Yeah.
you just like pull out a fucking weapon, like, like fucking,
yeah. Yo,
hey, you're like still yourself though. You're like just nice dude.
oh my gosh,
You're
dude.
like, hey,
yeah.
you
Like
know.
there was a lot of situations that could have been like a
Dude,
lot
you
of
just think
people.
about, like, man, you're lucky I'm a nice person.
Yeah. Like a lot of people would have been skeptical about doing a lot of things that, driving in these neighborhoods that you don't know about, going in these houses you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, over the years of going to church for so long, I learned to gain my trust in God,
Well, I just meant them trusting you.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh, right, yeah.
It could be the other way around too. Which,
Yeah.
honestly, like, I think there's a healthy amount of trust.
Yeah,
And,
but I think being kind helps a lot to gain
yeah,
some.
but when you're dealing with somebody that
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember too, like, there's still supposed to be evil out there.
Yeah, that's why it's good to be able to read people too, and I
I
felt.
don't think you can tell all the time that, like, who's like, you could imagine, like, if you met like Ted Bundy. And he's just like, hey, you just hate the DMV, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, he's like, you would never know.
Yeah, man.
But then you have, like,
Yeah.
other people that you're like, oh,
You
not
got to
know?
be able to read people, and I felt like when I was going to school for acting, especially in college, like I did stuff in high school too, but going to stuff for acting, and I was on the improv team in high school, improv club in college, like that's how.
Improv.
Yeah,
Good,
improv,
good.
that was fun, but you begin to learn how to read people, and get to know
Yeah.
people, and or tell
Comedy's
whether
like that too.
whether they're acting or not.
Yeah, and I did a lot of it.
Yeah,
I did a lot of door-to-door sales.
Cause right, right, yeah, cause
Even if they're acting, because I always think, like, if someone's acting and being, like, if you think they're being genuine, that's at least, like, doing enough that there's still a part of them that's doing it to make you more comfortable. They're not doing it because, like, let me make them more comfortable. So I just do it a lot.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to learn about people.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was just one of my teachers in high school say, we're acting all the time.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
I was about to say, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then doing improv, it teaches you about flow, saying yes, going with the flow, being present, listening, and
just kidding.
And
But see, I always thought that was annoying. Because I'm like, why can't I be like, no, but.
Right. Yeah. You can't. Don't negate the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like life too.
What'd you call me? No, I was kidding.
Yeah. It's like. Yeah.
So life, what? Like life in general?
Yeah. Like you are improvising throughout your life, like all day, every day.
You almost can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to be like, for sure.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a moment in that day or hour or what, or just even a second, a specific little instant that you will have to improvise.
You have to improvise. You have to adapt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like today with this thing, I was like, how am I gonna make my time useful?
Yeah.
How can I still do what I need to do, what I was gonna do?
Right.
And then still not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Speaking of too, like, I'll probably take a bathroom break. I don't know, like,
same
how
here.
long you want to go.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, my mom texted me a while ago.
She texted me too.
Wait, yeah, I do. Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
No, yeah. So we could basically like wrap it up or whatever. I don't know if there's like anything that you didn't.
Yeah,
say
no,
just now.
I did tell you this major story from the airport. That's like one of the major stories of working in there.
That's pretty wild story, dude.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Like, and then I felt like eventually. So I was there with them till 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Until another person from the morning shift came and
You're
took
like,
over for
You
me.
keep telling them, don't drink any more water. Just chill out. Or like, here, you want another water? try to get yourself
And
another
get some more money from him.
Yeah, dude. You're like, man, dude.
Oh
Sorry.
shit! Yeah, now that I know I could do it.
You just parked at the. You're just like got them parked at the wrong side.
Oh my!
Of the pickup line,
How many
so-
times did you milk this guy, Tony?
Yeah, dude. Like,
Getting
dude,
his
three people
getting
came-
another $100.
3 people came and left. Couldn't
Oh
find them.
damn,
You had him over
dude!
there.
Dude, and then the morning person took over, and he didn't look very pleased to be at work, and he didn't.
That's always the way it is.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't want to get that person because he knew he had to wait with him.
And he might have to help him pee.
Yeah, well, he didn't know all that, but the morning shift, they want to get as many passengers as possible because they want to go like this. They want to get the nest pet. They want to get that tip, this tip. They want,
Time is money.
but because he just started his shift and he knew he was going to have to wait with that person, he didn't like that whole idea.
Yeah, well.
And then he got $20 when he was done with him. And even $20 is a good tip, but
Especially if he didn't have to do the pee.
yeah, he didn't have to do anything, but I think he waited with him for like an hour, probably.
It ain't that long.
Yeah, and according to him, a morning shift worker, they can make more than $20 in tips for an hour.
Yeah,
It's
but
work.
see, that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing something good for somebody.
Yeah, no, for
I
sure,
even
man.
I had a couple incidents here that I won't name my job, but
Uh-huh.
where I had to help people, and I helped one person, and then a couple weeks later, they ended up passing away. And like I was the one that drilled the lockout, and they were in there.
Wow.
And so it was kind of like this weird experience, but it had me thinking about like,
Yeah.
I even thought about like maybe I'll just. I was even considering not doing anything else with my life, but this is crazy to say this. But I was literally thinking I might just go and become like a hospice worker.
Wow.
And just do this.
Oh.
And just basically commit myself.
Oh.
'Cause I was thinking about like people like on their last days or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Get
no matter
used
who
to
they
it.
are, and you're like, man, it's got to be like a crazy situation to
Yeah.
be facing.
Yeah.
And just sort of try to like make that easier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just was like, to me, would be like this rewarding thing.
Yeah, no, it is for
And
sure.
then I thought about it, and I was like, well, if I can make this happen for myself,
Whatever
it is, comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
If I can make it happen where I can make, a lot of money doing it, then I can take that money and do way more than I could as just one person
Yeah.
doing one thing at a time.
Uh-huh.
So if I can, like, on a bigger scale, do something.
Yeah.
Thought about creating this whole, like, I don't want to say it on here because I don't want to give my idea away. But
Uh-huh.
I have a whole idea
Yeah.
that later on, like, if I can pop off and make money doing this,
Yeah.
real money,
Uh-huh.
then I would keep a chunk of it for myself that would be enough to not be like having to work for someone else or anything like that.
Yeah.
But modest living, and then the rest of it I would just dump into like this thing that's more of a altruistic, what do you call it, it's a cause or whatever.
Okay.
It's
Cause
like
is
a charitable thing. I don't like
Yeah.
calling that, but like it's just this idea that's, I think, will be good.
Okay.
But yeah, I still think about that every now and then. I think about how, like,
Yeah.
I want to do more like stuff with nursing homes, and I want to do more with like my time that I'm not. I should take like a certain amount of time out of my week or a month to go, or either probably week, and then go like one day of the week at this time. Like I go and visit with some people. Like I had a person recently I met that was living out here on the street. And I kind of just, I don't know, we like became friends. It's kind of crazy. And so I would look out for him. I'd go by every now and then, drop off some water to him, say what's up, give him some cigarettes, whatever he needed. And then, we went to Walmart, hung out. I took him to Walmart. I got him like some underwear, some other shit that he probably needed.
Okay.
He was just a dude, man. He was like, and now he's living somewhere, like he has a place. And so it's pretty cool. Because I was thinking to myself, like, you're an idiot. Why are you going to, so it's, doing too much? Where, like, he never would bother me too much, though. He didn't ever ask me for money. He would just, just want to see if I had some cigarettes, because he was always kind of by where we are. And you know, I don't know. I just kind of was like thinking to myself, like, he seemed like the type of guy that if like somebody just could show him like a little bit of like compassion or whatever, I guess you call it, it would probably go a long way to encourage him to like, make his situation a little more positive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. And it's pretty cool. But
yeah.
he has a crazy history. He wouldn't want to get on here and talk about it. So I try to get him to.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be good if you could warm him up and get people like that to.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't want to do that because he also had he had been involved with like drugs and shit at one point. So I think that was gonna be the thing. He didn't want to be talking about it. It's because he didn't want him to be saying stuff that anybody's gonna hear and it could put him in a weird position.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that kind of thing I think is pretty cool. So
yeah,
that's what I thought was interesting when you said that, and then when you described certain parts, I was like, whoa, wait, because it had me dying. When you were like, it gets so busy, I gotta push 2 at a time. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and not even
and
that.
You meet a lot of people that do that. That's their job.
Yeah, I got so good at taking 2 wheelchairs, and even in the small spaces, I'll be pushing
You're like, you're
one.
not gonna make it.
Right? Yeah, no. I'll be pushing one chair with one hand and pulling the other chair with the other hand.
So what about luggage? Did you have to pull it in like a?
Oh man, yes.
It was with like a.
Sometimes I would hold the luggage, the handled luggage. It would be like a roller, so you could roll it, right? So I'll be pulling it while.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, sorry.
So I'll be holding luggage and pulling the luggage while I'll be pushing the chair. And then I'll do the same thing with the other luggage with the other chair, holding that luggage while pulling that. Yeah, so it was definitely, And then I had to make sure I had the balance right and I had the weight right, and I was able to push these 2 chairs and pull both the luggages at the same time. And then I had to switch handles on the chair to push that chair while I'm pulling the other chair, and still, but I couldn't pull the second luggage with the right arm.
Did you ever have a song play in your head, or did you ever imagine you were doing something else, you're in a movie? And you're like, we gotta make it to the thing. You're like,
oh.
I'm you're basically imagine that you're in 9/11. You're trying to get these people out of the building.
Oh wow, damn, that's crazy.
I would do stuff like that anytime I had a job. And
oh man, that would have been something good. But I never got really into it until I saw that movie Drive that came out in 2011.
Yeah.
And I watched the movie. And then I want to say it made me, when I was pushing the wheelchair, it made me feel like I was driving.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
yeah, it made me feel like, it got me in that driving mode. So it made it that much more interesting. And then, yeah. And then coincidentally after that, I started being a pizza delivery driver.
No way.
Yeah,
You're
so
man, I gotta really drive.
yeah. No, it was really fun, and that was the first time I've
done that before too.
What?
Pizza delivery?
Yeah, man.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
you get this thing, you're trying to find this, and back then, dude, there was you didn't really use your phone. They had a big map on the wall.
Oh, right.
And you would figure out where this street is.
Yeah.
And then you just would memorize it real quick.
Yeah.
Or write it down.
Right.
There wasn't really a lot of GPS on your phone.
Damn.
It's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I can't believe that, because I would get lost on the road and I would need the GPS. Yeah.
Every now and then I just don't use it. I just drive without it to see if I get lost, I get lost.
Oh, okay.
If I don't have somewhere to be right away, I'll just kind of let myself try to make sure that I know what goes where, because you get so used to it that I'll know exactly which way to go. Yeah. And I'll still just hit the button because I don't want to make a mistake, or I want to know what time I'm going to get there. Or, traffic.
Yeah.
But if all that stuff goes away, how many people are going to be able to just know how to get to where.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I really wish I would have tested myself to see if I
You
could.
still could though, because like
yeah,
you just gotta remember east. Some routes in the east, that's in the west, and then
yeah,
which direction are you going, and then figure out on the way. You could literally not know where you are, not know anything. You just need to know if you need to go north, south, either west, and then just figure
yeah.
out how to go that way. And
Yeah, I remember one of the drivers when I started training. He was like, "This street is number whatever, and the next street is number whatever." I didn't even know the street names had like numbers on them.
mm-hmm.
Like, and yeah, he was showing me, and he was telling me, and then they have pizza sometimes at over there.
Bro,
I
we
work.
would always. I'd come home with 15 pizzas.
Yeah,
we would
man.
accidentally, quote unquote,
And not just pizza, but the other food they had there.
The
and
sandwiches.
I worked at Giordano's. Was like, oh man,
so that's a legit place.
Yeah, man, it was so good. Not just.
Did you ever hit the phone like? Thank you for calling Giordano's.
Thank you for calling Giordano's. Oh, so I watched Drive, and I don't know if you've seen the movie Drive.
Yeah.
But when I first started working at the pizza place, I had this whole thing in my head that I would be like, if I drive for you, you'll get your pizzas delivered. That's a guarantee. You just tell me where I'm going in afterwards. I give the customer 5 minutes when I get there. Anything happens in that 5 minutes, and I'm theirs, no matter what. Anything happens a minute and I decided that, and they're on your own. I don't sit in when you're making the pizza. I don't carry a pizza cutter. I drive. You understand? Oh, okay, cabron. Can you take the pizza? Just kidding.
That could be a sketch.
Yeah. Not that many people have seen Drive, so I don't know.
It's funny.
I have the Drive jacket too.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah,
that's a cool jacket.
Yeah, it's a cool jacket. Like I'm a Scorpio too.
I like those. I have a jacket like that somewhere.
Oh yeah, like a sand jacket with this thing.
Like the pink lady jacket. Maybe.
Yeah, man. And then I got into those retro jackets too. Like my friend brought me one from the thrift store.
Oh, those
but
are the best.
I mean, yeah, man, it was a nice jacket. And then so him and his girlfriend got me the Drive jacket, and oh man, it was awesome because the soundtrack in the movie is awesome, and it just made me more excited about driving and,
he's alone a lot
and listening to music. Huh?
There's a lot more of a soundtrack. He's alone a lot. There's not a lot of a lot of scenes where it's just him. He doesn't talk a lot in the movie.
Yeah.
So it could easily fit the situation.
Yeah. For sure, it was very. And then I would quote the movie a lot. Like I would say the lines in the movie, and my friend couldn't believe that I was able to quote that movie so much. I'm like, he's like, that's a non-quotable movie. There's barely anything he's saying. I'm like, yes, but when he does says something, it's very quotable. Yeah, man. I love that movie. That was like my favorite movie for so long. I remember when I first watched that movie, High. I felt like I was watching the best movie ever made. I had my HD TV with my Sony surround sound in my attic room.
That's
and
perfect.
Man, it was.
You know, a movie I had like that. The same exact situation. It was District 9.
Oh, District 9 was so good.
Great movie, dude. I couldn't believe how good it was. That one and the Tomorrow War.
Oh,
Tom
okay.
Cruise, where he keeps waking up the same day over and over again.
Oh, I've heard about that one.
That's really good. You should check it out. It's a good sci-fi.
Man,
I'm always like, it's harder sometimes to find a really good sci-fi, but that's a good one.
Yeah. But that wouldn't make Groundhog Day a sci-fi, would it?
Basically,
probably,
no, but it's very similar in the sense that he keeps waking up. And it's the same day over and over, but he has to learn from each time he wakes up. I don't want to give away, but
just like Groundhog Day.
There's a lot
in
like
sense.
That. Little less jokes.
Oh right, gotcha. Which is good. You have because.
It's a trippy movie.
I could see it. That's awesome. I would want to see it.
It's trippy when I remember watching that. I realized that he played that movie where he was a taxi driver or whatever. Where he had the blonde hair, Tom Cruise did, and Jamie Foxx was the guy. And I'm like, that's so weird because I was thinking about how that he ended up with his chick. Later on, he was was when the Katie chick left, and she was with Jamie Foxx. Like, this is crazy.
She went with Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
The Katie chick?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, the chick he was with.
Really?
Yeah, that he was flipping out on Oprah about, and then they had the baby together. Well, she ended up with Katie Holmes, I think.
Yeah,
she ended up with Jamie Foxx later on.
Wow.
Not that much long after either.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah, and then they were in that movie together, but that was before that. So I'm thinking like,
yeah,
that's
nuts, man. Like, I don't know how, like, what the rules are over there, like bros before hoes, but then I don't know, man. Like certain people, like if your friend went out with this chick, you wouldn't go out with them, but some people, they're like,
and after a while it may not make a difference. I've had a situation where it ended up like my buddy was, they were dating and I didn't know right away, and they didn't tell me. They kind of were hiding it, and I just showed up with a case of beer, and I was like, what are you guys doing? And I kind of just walked up on them, and I was like, ooh. But I didn't care. And they ended up getting married. They have kids together, and they're still together. And never bothered me. But it was a good bit of time after, and we had known each other, all of us, for our whole lives. And then there's a couple other situations, but then there's other situations where it's different, and and there's also situations where a person is like not like they deserve that kind of thing or whatever, but they just the situation is where maybe they were with this person and thought it was more serious than it really was. Yeah. And then a short time later, they realized like that person's talking to you, but they never really were like that much of a. It's kind of like it's every, I think situations can be different. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, you just try not to, But then there's times whenever there's just one person is not realizing that chick is banging everybody.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's a totally different.
It's situation. Like if everyone's doing it, then it's like whatever. But if like one person does it, one person, it's not acceptable. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah, or you could see it as we're all sharing her, or we're all giving the love for her.
Some people, but if you feel like that's meant to be, and then there's a comic that went through that not long ago, and it's pretty funny, his reaction to it. Like, I don't know how you deal with this, but yeah, dude. I guess did you have anything else? Did you have any?
Yeah, let's see how we can wrap this up.
I didn't know if you have like one that or if you didn't get to finish or something, because sometimes I go off on a tangent.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, I finished. So, So to finish the story with that guy, he gave me the $100, and the guy took over. The new guy took over. He got tipped 20. But yeah, I was leaving that morning. It was like. So I as I was leaving that morning, leaving the airport I had money from the tips I got, and I also had this $100 bill. So I got an Egg McMuffin on the way out of work. I got a nice Egg McMuffin. So usually I'm not up early to get breakfast, So so I got myself an Egg McMuffin. I had it when I got home. It was nice. It was like a celebration, type of deal. And I went to sleep. I was off the next day, so I was able to sleep long and good. Mm-hmm. And knowing I did something good for somebody, You
got up, you walked to the bathroom, you took a pee on your own.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I ain't gotta pay nobody $100 to do this.
I know, right? Yeah, it makes you feel. It makes you feel definitely grateful for your stuff. Dude. Yeah, man. Speaking of, I do like the scene in The Green Mile when
he's out in the, he's like, there's like something about it where you're like,
oh man,
he finally he is able to like even whenever like he couldn't barely pee, and he's out in the grass, and he's like, and the pee's just like coming out kind of. There's a part of me that like was like, come on. I was right there with him, and then later when he just lets it, like, it just comes out, he's like, oh wow, I'm kind of like, I don't know, there's a part of me that kind of wanted that to happen in the middle of it. Like, why he's like, and then he's like,
it's happened again.
He's got like, like this. I just the last of it. I just got the last of it out.
Yeah. No, he was healed, man.
And I also liked the fact that like he pulled all that out. He would suck it all out. And then he would like, and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's all that.
Yeah,
all that yuck.
Yeah, he had to let it all out. Yeah.
And then I mean, imagine too if people come in, they're like, hey, man, I got this flu going on, and I got like a big thing. I gotta go golfing on Sunday. Can you like just come on?
Yeah.
Like, hey, man,
oh my gosh.
I was downtown again. I got the chlamydia.
Yeah.
Come on, man, give me a little. And he's like, okay, balls.
Yeah, be doing favors for your coworkers like that.
They keep making them do like, because you know how they took him to go help the lady.
Yeah.
But they like start making him do the smallest things because like, they're like, hey, come on, like, they're like, I got a cold sore. I got a wedding coming up. That's not really what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. And now you have these beautiful, plump, juicy lips for the rest of your life. Yeah, because he ended up he had longevity after that.
Yeah,
like
dude,
not only
it's
did
like
he
supposed to be a curse, but
but I'm like, oh man, so if I take care of my junk, I'll have like longevity like this guy. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
So I had this bit that
and then you got kicked in the balls.
Oh no. Right. At the beginning of my life, yeah.
You had a bit what?
Because I watched that scene in Green Mile, I tried to do my own version. So like I like essential oils, so like so since John Coffey, when he does like the light thing, like there's like the lights, and then you could also, like when he was healing the rat, like the light coming from his mouth or whatever, like so there's this essential oil, frankincense, and like it comes from the tree, and usually you open up the tree, you cut open the tree and you see the frankincense in there, and it's like this light, like this shining heavenly light. So I'm like, oh, they gave me my idea, so I put some frankincense oil on myself like that, thinking John Coffey is healing me or whatever. And then coincidentally I do piss much better after that. Like
that's wild.
Yeah. So it's like, give me some creativity experiments to try it myself.
But. And then you're like, because that mine is the scars, so I call it Frankencock.
You could probably put some on your scars, see if it helps.
I don't know.
Well, you know where I've gone in the red light therapy thing in Planet Fitness. Like you step in there, and they have red light therapy. It's supposed to be good for scars, acne, it muscle recovery. But you could go in there naked and see if it helps. Yeah,
that's kind of what got me in the situation in the first place. Going in the tanning bed, all that stuff. I thought I was like, is this from and he was like, man, it comes from everything.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot of stuff. I didn't know that, like, because body washes and shower powders.
Yeah.
Tanning beds.
Yeah.
Vaginas.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff, and
and
they even say sometimes too, like, if you live long enough, you will get cancer at some point. And a lot of times too, stuff you ingest, and then you're pushing that stuff out one end or the other.
Yeah. And
that eventually will get to the point where you could develop cancer just from it passing through you.
Wow.
And so makes you think a little bit, but I still am like, get Whataburger. And it's like, man, how many times have I eaten out of a bag, and when's the last vegetable I had? So that's kind of something I've been needing to work on.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I kind of like health and herbs and stuff. It's kind of like my hobby. I like learning all about.
Yeah, my girlfriend's a lot like that, where she knows a lot about different medicines. You get her talking about medications, and she goes on and on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so whenever I have something going on, I'm like, hey, like I had like an ingrown hair one time, sort of like in this region down here. Not like it was sort of more of like, you know how your pants are, and like and then I was like, messing with it kind of, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it out of there, and then I just made it worse. And I'm like, hey, what do I need to put on this? And she's like, oh, you need some cyclometrazine or some shit like that. She'll come out with some tube. And a lot of times she's right, put it on there, and I'm like, holy shit.
Okay.
But like, she always will tell me, like, don't mess with it. I'm like, I gotta see it come out of there.
Yeah.
I gotta see it. I don't want to be in there forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's this thing, satisfaction you're never gonna get. A lot of people don't know about like ingrown, like how it would be like under your dermis or whatever, and you have to like, you'd be basically breaking through that to get down, and then it would be like impossible.
Yeah.
And it makes things way worse because your skin gets hardened, and then it won't. It's going to grow in there and be in there forever.
Crazy.
People have that where it's still in there, under there. It's like basically this hair that has like.
Man,
it's just going to be there.
Skin.
And it ain't never going to come out. And I'm like, man, that's driving me nuts.
Jeez, yeah, man. That's one of the things I want to do with. If I ever get some
get all these ingrown hair money.
Yeah, I want to be able to come up with solutions for like these health issues and stuff. Yeah, I feel like more these days, like people are finding more and more solutions, but we gotta find solutions for everything. We want people to live their best lives.
Yeah, I'm totally like into that.
Yeah, for real, man. We need to be healthy, happy, and wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, man. I think that's a good place to end it on.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by essential oils. But yeah, cool, man. So I appreciate you jumping on here and staying so late.
Thanks for bringing me on, man. This is my first podcast I've been on.
No way.
Yeah.
You did a great job. This is the way you're supposed to do podcasts. You just be yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why I was saying, like, you can't just, like, bring just anybody because you put one person in there that's going to start, you put a microphone in someone's face and some people just turn on a switch and they just start being something that you don't. You're like, no, just stop trying to be funny. Stop trying to be a comedian. Just be a person that's talking or whatever.
Yeah.
Be funny, but be yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
I like the sound of the microphone and everything. It makes me tune in more to my own voice and the listening, and it makes it much more awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Back in the day, I'll end it on this.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where like I want to say ever since like I know weed it helps you be more chatty. It makes you talk and enjoy talking to people when people are smoking. But there was a time when I was having like panic attacks, and it was having like the opposite effect on me. Like it was hard for me to talk to people and eye contact and everything. And
me too. And sometimes I would have trouble like where I would be talking too much. That makes me chatty. People think like I'll just smoke some weed and then people will think that I'm on some other shit. And I'm like, oh, it's the weed that makes me
no, same here, man. Yeah. But so watching podcasts, when I started watching podcasts, specifically Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz podcasts, it helped me like be more acquainted with like people having conversations.
Me too.
And then I remember watching these podcasts and I'm like, man, especially when under those panic attacks of like, oh, man, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this, but yeah, man, eventually, surely but slowly I was able to like be myself again, especially doing this comedy thing has been
it helps. There's a lot of people that are weird.
Talking to people. So yeah, man, this is fucking a great honor to be able to do a podcast now and like feel confident about it. So yeah, man, thanks for this opportunity.
No, man, I just you told me some stuff. I was talking to you.
Yeah.
And if I'm talking to somebody and I've sensed that like I'm like this would be an interesting person to talk to about because anybody can just jump on here and we can talk about comedy or this and that, but then it's like And even then, there may be like it's just type of way that a person will present something, but then also things that they can like say or that perspectives or experiences.
Yeah.
That and I truly, honestly, at the base of it, I just look for people that I know can just get on the podcast and then be themselves and not gonna be like too caught up in like the whole. Like, especially if people are newer, it can be tough because people get like really like enthusiastic about like, you know, oh man, I'm doing this now. I'm on a podcast, like, you know, and they start acting like the people they see on podcasts. And you're like, no one knows who you are. Like, you got to be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, people don't really care about that. And and you got to like you. Talking about the airport thing, and just different ways of explaining. Like people will be interested. Like I'll show you some of like when we get done the whole one with Tom. I was with my girlfriend. And we actually like we're just listening to a little. I was showing a little bit, and we ended up listening to a whole bunch of it because she just kept wanting to hear the next thing. And so. If people just like to be eavesdropping, they feel like they're in the car with us. What it should be feeling like.
It gives a pretty good perspective.
You know, you're listening and you're like, and you're not even there.
That's
what I want.
And then people who are listening while they're in their car. Knowing that,
it almost feels like they're just riding in the car with two people.
Man, that's the cool thing about it. I like it. It podcasts do give a different something else in contrast to listening to music in the car. Because you could only listen to music in the car for so long.
A long trip, dude. Like that's when I really listen. I don't listen to podcasts as much because I'm not on the road as much. But when I was on the road all the time, man, I was like always like, let's find the longest one, and then you know it would get me like halfway or something, and then. You watch another one or listen to another one and you're almost there.
For real. That's the cool thing about it. And then I realized that podcasts are as long as some movies, you know? And so I started playing movies on YouTube, and just like something about just listening to the movie is a little different than watching, especially if you've already watched the movie. And you just listen to it. It makes it like a storybook kind of thing, because you see the movie in your head. Because especially if you've seen it already and you're just listening to it, and it's something cool too.
Dude.
I like it.
But my phone I think just died. So Tony Torres, everybody. You probably can't see this, but you know he's gonna be around. So what's your handle?
It's Anthony _John_ on Instagram.
18357. No, so at Anthony _
John
JOHN or JON?
JOHN.
Anthony _John JOHN _.
Yeah, that's the Instagram.
That's just it, like Anthony _John _.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Instagram, and then I also have my YouTube and TikTok link on there also.
Sweet. So they can go on there. So Tony Torres, everybody. That's it. Thanks again, dude.
Yeah, man.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye. Titanic in 3D and theater. Ooh, are you kidding me?